Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Week number 7 potential upset picks where I put different teams on upset alert. And I also take a look at some of my top parlays, at some of the best bets of the week. Where are the sharps putting their money? We're going to be examining all of that, we're going to be examining all of that, but we begin in Indianapolis. We've got the Browns taking on the Colts. The Browns sitting -2, possibly -3, depending on the sports book. And guys, I do like the Browns to win this game. I'm not putting them on upset alert. They are the slight favorites. Let's understand this is an Indianapolis Colts team with Gardner Minshew. They can function, but they're always going to be an average team with a backup quarterback, at least this year. On the other hand, the Cleveland Browns likely getting back to Sean Watson. We know how great their defense is. Make no joke about it. This will be a tough game. Indianapolis is a solid NFL team, but I do like the Browns in this one to pull away late and win by a touchdown. The next one, it is Washington on the road in East Rutherford against the Giants, and I do think the Giants pull off a slight upset here. This is a correction game. You've got Washington sitting at 3-3. They're not going to go to 4-3, and also the Giants, there's no way they fall to 1-6, especially getting Daniel Jones back. The performance they had last week, they're coming back home. The Commanders extremely streaky. When they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're really off, guys. And they're going to be a little bit off this week against the Giants team that a lot of people thought was going to be pretty good. The Giants still with a decent defense. They proved it in Buffalo on Sunday night. They will win this game outright and obviously cover the 2. The next one, it is Atlanta traveling to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay sitting -2, -2.5, depending on where you look. I will take Tampa Bay in this game to win and to cover. I just don't trust Atlanta, and I think last week, Tampa Bay, the 6 offensive points, it was an aberration. Baker Mayfield was terrible. There were plays to be made. He knows that. He's going to be better this week. He's going to bounce back, and I like Tampa Bay to win this game, improve to 4-2. And it's just very hard to pick Atlanta at this point with how much they struggle throwing the ball. Desmond Ridder, like 150 yards per game. Bijan Robinson struggling a little bit now. I will take Tampa Bay to win this game outright and cover. Moving on to the 4 o'clock games. I mean, these aren't even upsets, I'll be honest. I apologize for this. This is a 1-point spread. Yes, I am picking Denver to win it, but you really can't characterize this as an upset. I just think, I did see something about Jordan Love he said he was angry and he's ready to prove people wrong. I like seeing that. Maybe I'll change my pick because I saw that quote. No. To me, Denver's defense is not nearly as bad as everyone says. I mean, people are saying like they're the worst defense in history based on yards per play. Guys, I know they've been a little bad, but if they were actually the worst defense, they would have given up way more points and yards to Mahomes on the road in that Thursday night game. This is not a horrible Denver defense. They've got Jonathan Cooper. They've got some players. They will do enough against Jordan Love on the road. He's in a hostile environment. He hasn't proven anything. Denver will win this game outright. You also have to factor in Russell Wilson actually hasn't been that bad this year. They're due for a win. They're going to get that win at home, probably on a walk-off field goal. Another 4:25 game. It is the Chargers traveling to Kansas City. So the Chargers, Justin Herbert on Monday night. Everyone saw it. You had people saying it was the worst performance they've seen Justin Herbert have. And guys, if we know how the NFL works, he's going to come back. He's going to light it up on the road in Arrowhead, and they're going to get a shocking upset. That's just how the NFL is. And this is a Kansas City team that I'm really not buying this year, if I'm going to be completely honest. I understand they're 5-1, but when you look at the receivers, I understand you could say last year was the same thing, but it just seems like they're due for a loss here. The Chargers are desperate. They cannot fall to 2-4. It'll surprise a lot of people, but I will. And also, you look at the point spread. Kansas City sitting -5.5. All of the analytical numbers actually say Kansas City should probably be 8-point favorites. So why would Vegas have them at 5.5? Well, Vegas understands that this is a very high probability of an upset, and they want people to bet on Kansas City, so they're giving them good value. We can see right through it, and that's why we're in on the Chargers, not only to cover the 5.5, but to win this game outright. It's going to be a balanced game. I don't see the Chargers falling to 2-4, and Kansas City, for as good as Mahomes has been and his crazy great record, they're not going to go to 6-1. They don't have the offensive talent. And then moving on to the Sunday night game, it is a really nice, maybe this is the preview of the Super Bowl. I doubt it. I don't see Philadelphia making back-to-back Super Bowls, but both of these teams are 5-1. Philadelphia is sitting about -1.5 to -2.5. You do have ESPN FPI going in on Miami, saying they have a 59% chance to win. It's not surprising considering how great Miami has been in terms of yards per play, thanks to those long touchdowns to Tyreek Hill. But I will take the value in Philadelphia at home in cold weather, possibly snow flurries. This Miami team, they don't like the cold. It's a tough matchup for them. There's great value on the home team, Philadelphia, to come back and really get a bounce-back win after that disappointing road loss to the Jets where Jalen Hurts did not play well. And then taking a look at my top parlays, you do have the first one, a very simple money line. We will take Seattle at home against Arizona. Arizona still without Kyler Murray, although he did return to practice. Of course, I said the Browns will win the game at the Colts. They're sitting -170. I think that's a pretty good value there, although it should be a relatively close game. And then Buffalo will take them on the money line at New England. I think Buffalo ends up winning that game by 10 points at least. They will bounce back. New England, I just cannot trust at this point. The next one, it is another 3-teamer. It is the Giants on the money line, plus the 125. I guess a little bit of an upset over the Commanders, but they are at home, and they are only +2. You do have the Ravens minus the 160. I love the Ravens this week over the Lions. I do not see the Lions improving to, what would it be, 6-1 at this point? Yeah, I'll take the Ravens to win that game at home. And then we will go in on the under. This is a analytical play. The under 44 Steelers Rams. Rams have a good defense. Steelers with Kenny Pickett, I'm not expecting them to score much. I could see like a 23-13 type Rams win with the under 44 very easily hitting in terms of that. And then the next one, another 3-team money line parlay. This is a risky one. It is Denver on the money line, basically in a pick'em at home against the Packers. Eagles on the money line in their Sunday night game against the Dolphins. And then the Chargers in an upset. I mean, they're only plus 195. Wow. I thought there would be better value on the Chargers to win outright in Kansas City. That's pretty crazy considering their record. And then moving on to where's all the money going into? What can we take from these numbers? You're seeing a decent amount of money being bet on the Browns, although 65% chance it is what it is. Tons of money on the under 40.5. I really don't trust that considering this is a dome game and Gardner Minshew can score a little bit, but there's a ton of money in on the under. The next one, you do have Atlanta, Tampa Bay. More money going in on Tampa minus the 2.5. Also the under 37. I mean, listen, I don't know about that's a very low number there. It maybe maybe it's gonna storm or something. I don't know. The next one, Buffalo, New England. You can see people are split on it, but a lot of money going in on the under 40. That's understandable. Vegas, Chicago. People also split on that one. Slightly more money going in on Vegas minus the 2.5. I would agree with that. And then, yeah, I would agree with the under in that case, under 37.5, based on the backup QB situation. Both teams likely starting backups. You do have the Lions at the Ravens. Very even there, 54% of the money going in on Baltimore, and yeah, 53% also going in on the over, so nothing we can take from that one. A lot of money going in on the under in the Commanders-Giants game, 37.5. Dude, what is with some of these games? I mean, I thought last year was bad with over-unders into the 30s. This year, basically every game, the over-unders in the 30s, and everyone's betting the under. Steelers, Rams, over-under sitting at 44. Yeah, I see great value in the under. See, most people are actually betting the over. That surprises me, but based on all the other games, 44 is a pretty high number, especially for a Steelers offense that really is not explosive. Like, if you look at the way the Steelers have scored, a lot of it's from defensive touchdowns and short fields, and also money on the Rams to cover the 3. And then you are looking at more money coming in on Seattle minus the 7.5. And then slightly more money on the over. Moving on to another 425 game, Green Bay at Denver. Really not much to take from this one either. Oh, you could say there's smart. Yeah, okay. So there is smart money on the under in this game because if you look at the total cash, the under at 66%, but the tickets, oh, never mind. I thought that was the over. Yeah, so there's really not much we can take from these games. If I'm just looking at this, you can see a lot of people in on the Chargers. That doesn't surprise me. I agree with them. And then 48's the over-under. Yeah, I would say there's decent value on the under in that. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Have I ever seen this? Everybody is betting the under. Everybody. Moving on to Miami at Philadelphia. There it is again. 83% people on the under. People also went on Philadelphia. I agree with that. I think Philadelphia is an underrated value play. And then the game that I didn't include, I'll just talk about it right now. You do have the Vikings at home, the Monday night game, the Vikings at home against the 49ers. I think the Vikings actually cover the 7-point spread in that game. It was 8. It got bet down. I think they probably lose by 3. The Vikings are just a team that always seems to play close games, especially with it being Monday night. I could see that being a closer game there. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for my official NFL Week number 7 Upset Alert picks. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.